These vans are bigger than you would expect. Fully standing inside, walking around, doing dance moves. You don't have to build a van overnight. Break it down into manageable steps.
Measure 5 times and cut once. Started off as just like building a house, because we're actually, fighting for inches in these small spaces. Everything is handcrafted. It's all hardwoods.
What really matters is experiences, adventure, maybe being scared once in a while, because you learn about yourself.
We're giving people like maybe a next chapter in their life.
With our rentals, it's just really cool because more people get to go out and experience what we do. You'll realize that when you go out and you camp, what's really important. My name is David Sodeman.
My name is Brett Ellenson.
And I am one of the owners at
Boho Camper Vans. So this is our build shop. A little bit of organized chaos, but everything actually does have a very good shop flow to it.
Boho is really the unconventional way to live or travel by definition, and it really sort of aligns with what we're doing here. We are providing unique and fun ways to both live and travel by way of off-grid camper vans.
We try to start it off as just like building a house. So a lot of the guys in here, Tom, Carlos, they're starting furring everything out. The framework, it's kind of teams of 2 in the van, and that's because it's a small space.
So right after the framing, we start wiring through. I like to go through and mark where I'm going to be wiring for all the outlets, any switches, and any other appliance. Specifically right now, I am wiring for the fridge. I'm just going to go through, up and around, and back to the electrical. After all this, we can move on to the next step, which would be installation.
Our guys make it look easy. It is a lot of work. It really is. I mean, the finished product is beautiful, but it takes a lot to really get there. So here we have our hemp insulation. Hemp wool is awesome because it actually has the same R rating as you would have for a fiberglass bat material. It's a combination of hemp fiber that has been stretched and pulled and torn apart and then compressed along with wool. Probably more dense than you would have for a fiberglass bat. And so there's a soundproofing quality to it as well. It actually is very hypoallergenic. We don't have to really worry about everyone, masking up and gloving up. You don't have to worry about breathing the stuff in. You don't have to worry about, getting into your skin and tearing you up. So this is Stevie, van number 1.
Things are still working well. Much different layout than you're seeing in the shop now. Much smaller van.
Building Stevie, the first van was, it was nerve-wracking, to be honest. When we were cutting the first holes in it to, put a fan in, drilling boards down into the floor. The whole time I knew that David had that van on a credit card. But as I'm sitting there doing it, I know I am technically destroying this van to an extent to only bring it back to better than, it could have ever hoped its life could be.
We built out our kitchenettes. We have the bed. For cooking, this is the cooking station that came out. We used to use bamboo countertops. Still holds up really well. This is where it all began, honestly.
Yeah, David came back from a trip to Hawaii.
My fiance and I went to Maui and we rented a van there. And we realized it was just the most incredible way to see a new place. It was very freeing to know that once you left your place, your campsite, you didn't have to go back. And we came back extremely inspired. This van was just intended to maybe have a little bit of extra beer money for both of us. It wasn't meant to be a business. But when we put it up to list, to rent, it just started booking like crazy. And we realized we had something. I think a lot of businesses, successful ones sometimes come out of inspiration. But travel is really what started it all. We love this van. This thing has changed our lives, it really has.
Somebody that would want to try to build a van, maybe if you have no woodworking experience, no plumbing experience, no electrical experience, maybe just find a small little side project. We got a number of guys that have started in the interview process by showing us just a table they've built, a house they helped their uncle remodel, just, you know, maybe a car that they worked on. Just getting yourself some hands-on experience with something to get a little level of confidence.
I would say you don't need a big van. If you're just looking to get started, this is how we got started, right? We found a van we could afford, or thought we could afford. Just the simple things, right? Running water, a place to cook, a place to sleep, an engine that runs well, and that's really all you need. When we first built our first van, it was, how cheap can we make this? Over time, you realize cheap isn't always the way to go because it's gonna be more expensive in the end.
All the vans have solar simply for the fact of trying to be able to get off-grid. People want to go out camping, and it's, you know, trying to make the van as green as it can be. If people want to go out in the wilderness and just get away and escape.
We are on the top of a Boho van, and you can see right here we have two 200-watt solar panels from Rich Solar. And this is what's generating most of the power for every system inside the van. They provide everything you need to power your systems off-grid, from your fridge to your lights to heaters, AC units. This is the off-grid systems that we really champion. Renewables such as solar panels make a tremendous amount of sense, and I'm actually surprised that they aren't used more. And since this is so important to everything we do, it's really good to have a partner like the guys over at Rich Solar.
Whether it be a beach or a mountainside or a beautiful desert landscape, you had to move or start the van all the time or be plugged into a generator that just kind of, you know, maybe wrecks the experience. And we want to get it where people just kind of get to come back to nature and just kind of sit there peacefully. So here we have our electrical setup. We're starting off with our battle-born batteries. Lithium-ion technology, as these are, has just come so far, and so many people have known it really, you know, over the past, you know, few years.
I probably couldn't do this with, I definitely couldn't do this with a traditional AGM lead-acid battery. This is light. Light is good when you're on the road.
A lithium-ion battery, it has what is called a BCM, battery control module. That is kind of monitoring the temperature of the battery, it's monitoring the power coming into the battery, the power going out. It can provide full power until basically zero. You can basically get twice the amount of power out of a lithium-ion battery than you can an AGM battery, because an AGM battery you can't cycle down past 50% of its actual usability.
With the way that we set up the system with the battle-born batteries, there is no fear of overcharging. So you could be in Death Valley in the middle of the summer, full sun, and you're not going to overcharge. You're not going to have to replace these for probably 10 years, maybe longer. Whereas with a traditional battery, an AGM battery, you are going to be replacing those probably 4 or 5 years, kind of like you would with your car battery.
Other advantages are charging cycles on the lithium-ion batteries. You get about between 9 and 10 times the amount of charging cycles on a lithium-ion battery than you would an AGM battery. They just kind of lend themselves to kind of a foolproof system that we've created in the van, that you don't have to worry about when you go and start your vehicle in the morning. You're not popping the hood, and you're not checking the fuses to make sure that everything is lined up and working well. It just allows itself for a reliable, consistent use over a longer period of time. It definitely, over the life cycle of having that battle-born lithium-ion batteries, it pays for itself.
We've built a lot of vans in 3 years, and the goal is to make it as easy as possible. You turn on the light works, right? You open up your fridge, your food is cold.
We have a lot of people that actually work remotely out of the vans as well. So when they go on their trips, they got to be able to keep their laptops going. We put cell phone extenders, Wi-Fi extenders in the van to allow them to be able to grab the signal powerful enough maybe to jump on a meeting. We've actually constructed a recording studio for a customer with the lithium-ion battery bank. He is actually able to stay off-grid completely without having to plug into a shore power or anything, and he is mixing and creating music and creating video. We have our water system here. Right now we are standardizing with 25 gallons of water, giving customers anywhere that live out of their vans, we say we hear about, 13 to 15 days that they can get completely off-grid. On our rental department, we go through water, anywhere from 7 to 10 days. Our big thing was that we wanted the vans to have a longevity to them that you just aren't seeing in the RV industry nowadays. We think that just having a solid, literally a solid product from the hardwoods and just the high quality materials that we're using, it's gonna be something that just kind of always lends itself to people seeing a true quality in the product. So we do a lot of prefab outside of the vans, just to kind of speed up the process as far as scalability goes. Right here we have kitchenettes being prefabbed outside of the van. Everything's true hardwood. This will lend itself for much longer, durability down the road. All these composite boards and stuff that you see in, the builds and manufacturers today, you put it together once, and if it kind of gets pulled apart, it can't be tightened back down or it can't be reconfigured. So we have our red cedar that's going to be going in. Red cedar is actually very good for thermal growth and contraction. It's used in indoor applications like saunas. It's a natural bug deterrent.
Really maybe the best thing about it is an awesome insulator, and it actually prevents mold. So red cedar grows a lot of times in the Pacific Northwest, and so that's going to be a very wet climate. So it's adapted over time to really breathe, so there's not going to be any sort of moisture buildup, because mold is the one thing that, if you own a house, is the last thing you want, and we view these as tiny homes.
There is spots that we can work quicker, but then there's a lot of times when slowing down is really a key fundamental to having the polished product that we demand, really. So this is definitely one of more of the custom projects that we've done. The customer for this, they had some things going on with health concerns and stuff like that, and we told them that maybe a larger RV would be better suited for them with all the features that they wanted, and they said no, they wanted something smaller. Gone are the days of the really big RVs. Maybe you can't park everywhere, maybe you have to take a different route. The ease of use that somebody can still park this vehicle in a parking space and take it to any campground, really.
There's this Japanese term called, I believe it's called Kaizen, which is the idea of continuous improvement. And that's something that I think applies to not only vans or your work, but you personally, right? I think everybody wants to just be a little bit better every day. So we were ordering blackout curtains on Amazon that weren't meant for vans. Us as creatives, designers, we knew there was a better solution. We tried 3 or 4 different kinds, and once we saw these, we're like, it's the ticket. So the best part about the van-made gear covers is that there's no hardware at all. Wherever you want to put it, in this case, the slider door, you can see just sticks, just simple snaps. These come all the way down, right? Fits perfectly, nice and snug. You could lift this up depending on the window you have, or you could just be full blacked out, so much cleaner. Don't get caught in the door. And what's really cool about this one too is you just fold it in half. You want to open up your screen. You don't want to have to worry about window covers, and you don't with these. You may think that it's this glamorous situation, and it can be, but it's hard. It can be hard. It's a small space. You don't have all the luxuries at home. Sometimes you're using a glorified plastic bucket to do your business. It's not what you'd expect, but I think it's good for everyone to at least try it. And yeah, so every van is named. We started naming them after female rock stars. So for instance, we had a Stevie Nicks, we had a Franklin, Joplin. We kind of went through some of our favorites. And it originally started with, when we bought the van, we would drive back, turn on the radio and say, first female singer we hear, we're gonna name the van after. Since moved into different, just badass females, really. There's a lot of very cool things that I think people need more of. And maybe you're not living in it full time, but just having these glimpses and these pockets of inspiration. Not everybody can afford to buy their own van, but they can afford to rent a few nights. And the best part about the job is seeing the renters arrive, scared out of their minds. They're like, are we really doing this? And then they come back, and there's this glow. That is something that really, really makes us happy and makes us feel, more of like we're making a difference, because we'll inspire people just by going out on a trip. That's not something you get to say every day at your job. You think millennial, you think Instagram, you think van life, right? You would be surprised that a majority of our clients are older women. They love this stuff. You know, they're really using it as it's meant to be. It's not sitting in their driveway. They are on trips all the time. Anything that doesn't hold up, anything that may break or feels weak, we will discover very quickly with the rentals, and that translates to the builds every time. You know, there's always things we're changing, but we just want to be better. There's always something better you can do in any aspect of your life. And same goes for these vans. You don't have to build a van overnight. If you break it up into steps, much as though a house would be built, insulation, framing, windows, electrical, plumbing, in the end, you can kind of break it up and even use the van along the way. We built this, not in a shop, we built this basically in our backyard.
And it wasn't with a bunch of top-of-the-line quality equipment. I mean, we did it with just what we had. And we made the dream kind of come true just from some sheer willpower.
Just the two of us, we both had full-time jobs, and we were doing this on nights and weekends. Our girlfriends weren't very happy, but you know, it's there's always, you know, we never expected it to be what it is now. Vans have sort of gotten a bad rap in the media. There's lots of memes and jokes. People usually think you either don't have money or you have a lot of it. It's one or the other. And what we like to do is to show that you can be right in the middle. And you don't have to have millions of dollars to do this. You can do this because it's fun, it's enjoyable, it gets you outside.
I don't know how many people we've had come in and they have their, you know, hand over their mouth and they're starting to tear up, and that kind of gets Dave and I maybe a little bit emotional on the side as well. When people get emotional and they kind of see like a dream come true, we get to like truly feel that, you know, we're doing something, you know, much more than just owning a company that sells camper vans. Like, we're giving people like maybe a next chapter in their life, or, you know, facilitating something that they didn't dream was possible.
It doesn't make sense to do something with the idea that you're going to make money, right? You do it because it's something you enjoy. And this is what we do on the weekends, right? We camp, we hike, we go mountain biking. And this is just a facilitator for it. Don't have to go home. You can just stay right there at the trailhead if you want to. We have the benefit of being able to have in our very own backyard some of the most amazing places in the world. You have the Grand Canyon, you have Zion, you have the beaches in California, you have the dunes and the white sands in New Mexico, you have the snow and the Rockies and the hot springs in Colorado. We had the benefit of having that in our backyard, and that is a big reason for our success. You are in somewhere so magical that you fall in love with that, and you fall in love with whoever you're with, whatever you're driving, whatever you're eating. It's such a nice benefit to have this, and we really rely on these experiences in these places to teach and to share on where to go. Some of the best conversations I think we've ever had as friends and as partners have been traveling together. The ride's half the fun, it really is.